You seem like to be really motivated to do like those things. Is there like something that pushes you to do that?
I feel like it's
What was your goal like doing this course, like the coaching, all that stuff with your students? What pushed you to do that?
what pushed me to start coaching.
Yeah.
You know, initially you just start because it's your thing.
Are you thinking like of moving somewhere?
I think about it all the time. Even everything that we do, learn to breathe, sing better on pitch, project with your hand. At the end goal for every singer is that.
Okay. So Annie, tell me, how was your day today in LA? First time, I think.
Yes, you too, I think.
Yes, it was.
Today was super fun. We literally got off the plane and just arrived at the studios directly because the traffic was insane, as my students have warned me. And we came in, we got here at like 3:50. And by 4, I started coaching. We had 5 students come in and just nonstop.
How was it to actually meet your students?
I love it. I love that human connection. We try to do the most we can when we're on Zoom, but even seeing them like interact with each other in between, like one person coming in, one person came in a little earlier and just sit in to watch the other person's lesson was just very special. And I can't wait to see tomorrow when we're actually going to have our group session. We're also going to have, I didn't have too much time to really connect with them more than singing because, there was the next session, there was someone else's lesson beginning. But I'm looking forward to tomorrow when we're going to sit around the table. We're going to have dinner after our vocal masterclass.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what's going to happen tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right, so I had a question since we were in the plane when we were coming here. And I was asking you, what was your goal like doing this course, like the coaching, all that stuff with your students? What pushed you to do that?
What pushed me to start coaching?
Yeah.
Initially you just start because it's your thing. It started as me. I'm the singer. I love to sing. I can teach someone else. I can help someone else a little bit. But at the end of the day, it revolves around your experience still as the singer. And yeah, it really just started naturally that way. People start asking to get help. And for sure, it's passion, but it's, teaching is very different than just performing. It's like 2 different things. And I think I always enjoyed teaching. It feels very fulfilling to help someone get from A to Z. And, I don't know how to do many things, but I can teach you how to sing.
Yeah, I was looking at you during the session today with the 5 students, and it's crazy to me that you're listening to the students and then you are able to precisely know and modify like his voice or her voice in order to make it better.
Yeah,
So
you
like,
heard the difference?
yes. How do you do it? Like, is it like naturally or?
Yeah, my experience, even myself finding my own sound, and also when I started teaching, yes, there is technique. Technique you can always fall on, but I usually take it very, very to its core. Like, what do I hear? What are people looking to hear? Now it comes like very naturally, but initially it is just like something's off. What is off? Everybody tends to just say, I suck at singing. I'm bad at it. Or that person's just good at it. And I like to ask people what was good about it. What was bad about it, right? Were you kind of pitchy? We can fix the pitch. Was your voice just kind of imbalanced? We can project with better direction, better balance. And so I always approach it as just a bare listener with even all the technique that you can know behind it. Just a bare listener. What is the first thing that we hear? And for beginners, there's so many things that you should be changing. But what is like that one thing that'll make a difference for that person's singing on the spot? And also, it's quite a challenge for me because I feel like beginner singers especially struggle a lot with like confidence, a lot of self-doubt. It takes one note to throw themselves off and they may not try anymore for the rest of the lesson. So I kind of have this pressure to like, I need to get them to hear the difference ASAP. And that's why the moment they hear it, I'm like, how did you feel? Did you hear that? or I'm like, that's recorded, you can go back and re-listen to it, because the moment you hear the difference, you just cannot unhear it.
Yeah.
And then you start believing in yourself.
You're not just only like giving advices, but you're developing a skill to be able to like hear what the difference is like with a good voice and a bad voice.
Yeah. Like changing your whole singing, changing your voice, what you're, expanding the capacity of your voice, that is a muscle, your vocals, it takes time.
Yeah.
Right? But what most people don't know is that right now in this moment, your voice is able to do something that you've not practiced, but it's capable. Before you even build more muscles, it's already capable of doing something. So how do you do it? How do you release your best sound? How do you remove tension? How do you remove some blockages in the way you're pronouncing the words? And so on the spot, you should be hearing a difference. And then now you have to remember that, how it feels, how to retrace that, how to get back to that place. And then you have to practice it until it becomes a vocal habit. And then it is your technique.
That's great. And talking about that, like, do you have like a student that you said something to that person and it changed everything? Like, do you have an example of that?
I think the biggest example for all the students that I coach is when they hear themselves singing in their full voice, a bit like the last student, right? How did you feel actually watching her like get it and then lose it, get it and then lose it?
It was kind of funny, but at the same time, just like you said, it's the confidence problem. It's like sometimes she was singing like really, really good, but in her head, it was wrong. And I was like, okay, so like there's like two type of perception.
And you could tell that it was good.
Exactly. Because I had the headphones, right? So I was able to listen her voice and it was perfect. It was super good. And at the end, she said, was it good? Like, it sounded wrong,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I'll tell you why. Because the thing that I say that all of my singers, the goal, even everything that we do, learn to breathe, sing better on pitch, project with your hand. At the end, the end goal for every singer is that you sing with your full voice. Is that you don't just get stuck singing airy. You don't, even if it could be a vocal effect to the way you sing, you first have to discover your full range. You're singing it with your full voice, or else you're never going to feel confident. You're always going to feel like you're covering, like you're always held back. A part of your voice cannot fully be released. And so you choose to sing with your head voice. You choose to sing with an airier tone. You can even make it pretty, but deep down, because you don't have strength, you don't have power. And that is the thing, like the moment that they hear it, for everybody else, you sound confident. Finally, we hear your voice. Finally, you're not stuck singing airy and like with a more like fluttery, elusive tone. But for the singer who's experiencing it, it just feels like this feels so rough. This feels so out there. And it's really like the sensation is like putting your voice out there and not knowing if it sounds good because it's so unfamiliar.
Yeah, it's unfamiliar. That's the thing, because I feel like when they sing and they discover their voice, it's like something new. So like they're not used to it. They're not comfortable with it. So that's why they might think like, oh, it's wrong. But at the end of the day, it's not wrong. It's actually the voice that you need to output. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's upside down. Yeah. It should be the opposite. When you feel stuck in your sound and your sound is smaller, it's unsupported, it's not even that interesting, when you're only stuck singing airy. You're only stuck singing with a thinner sound, but it's comfortable and it feels safer.
Yeah, that's great. And they were happy. They were happy at the end. Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited to see their reaction with the results.
Yes. Yeah. I feel like we can compare like the before and after, because we can clearly see it's a different day. We all change clothing. Yeah. But like you're going to see just even today, the work that we did with them. And tomorrow, it's going to be like a whole different experience, I believe. Day and night. Especially singing in front of people, because when we're one-on-one with a coach, singers, obviously we're focused on the technique. We're focused on, our weaknesses, overcoming our limitations. And I'm usually very excited to get them to perform, because something very different happens when there's an audience listening. And all of a sudden you just naturally, you feel like you're on performance mode, right?
Yeah.
Whether you're shaking, whether you're really nervous, it just makes a difference to almost like be taken more seriously. And that's the moment where you see some singers, it's like, I'm diving in, I'm giving it everything. It's like game time, you know, and they go all out and I'm just stunned. I'm like, who are you? Right? Usually mostly that is the experience. And then sometimes also it's happened to me in the past where you can like recoil and you kind of like shy away and then everything goes wrong. And then all the technique that you've been practicing is like out the window. That can also happen. But the sooner you get into that space, the sooner you get that practice of singing in front of people, the sooner you can get used to working while you're nervous. Get used to not letting your nerves override the technique that you've currently been learning.
Wow, awesome.
Yeah.
So I wanted to also talk about something else that we talked on the plane about your parents. So recently I
Want to
think
get me crying? I see you.
no. So recently I think like your business is going pretty well and you're having like a lot of students and people like get to know you online. So how is it with your parents? Like how do they see like your success right now?
Yeah, I think they're very proud. I think like, my whole lifestyle changed. My rhythm in my day, has changed. They definitely feel that I'm very zoned in and I'm really locked in to reach my goals. They're not on social media. Actually, the other day, my dad reacted to one of my stories through Facebook. So I guess they see. And my dad also told me that he likes all of my shorts on YouTube. So
Awesome.
I wasn't aware. But but they're not on social media. They don't see the numbers. They don't see all of that. But I think they've seen the newfound purpose that I kind of carry in my day to day because I am very locked in with this whole, vocal transformation community, singers worldwide. And yeah, I think they're very proud of me because there was a time when it wasn't the case and it wasn't something that I could even foreseeably be doing full time. Now it's overtime. Now it's like it takes up your whole time. But yeah, there was a time I remember, especially with my father, my dad, he would kind of advise me to get a real job. Like you don't get it. You don't get the reality of making money. Like go get a real job. And I remember it was even pretty hurtful when he had said those things and he said it in a very rough manner to like, that was a purpose. It was kind of to wake me up. And today, obviously we don't talk like that anymore. Today, it was like a full circle moment and it didn't even last that long. It wasn't like many years later. It was maybe like a year or two later. That he sees, all the progress that I've had with my community. And I think he even said something like, when we were just like in family, we were just talking. And I think he said something like, we can learn something from Annie. That's one of my siblings told me. And I was like, wow, I went from like, you don't even know what you're doing, girl, to, hey, like, you've built something and we're proud of you. So I'm very grateful.
That's crazy. And talking about like your parents, like your dad mostly saying that you need to get a real job and stuff like that. So how was the dynamic when you were younger in your family? Like was it like getting a diploma and then going to be like a doctor? Like how was it in your family?
So my dad always says that I should have been a lawyer because I'm very good at debating and owning my my arguments. But very young, when I was at school, I was the singer. That's all I did with my friends. I was always with the musical people. I just love to sing. Like that's never left me my whole life. And so when the moment came to like pick something to study in, I was just like, you know what? I don't see myself ever teaching music per se, but I want to pursue studying music, which that was a whole other route. I don't think like artists need to, singers or musicians, you don't necessarily need to formally go in that very academic route because there's a lot of other things. You don't actually get to play a lot and sing a lot in school.
In those studies, like what do you actually like study?
So there's a lot of like even I was a jazz student, but I had to learn like classical theory. I had to analyze like Bach and Mozart and all that. So that was a lot of studying and a lot of like, theory, ear training, music history. You had more hours in a week studying music history than
Playing music.
performing,
Yeah.
practicing your performance. And so you had to really find those moments for yourself. So a lot of people who, maybe even were really talented would drop out, because it wasn't the environment to grow anymore. I stuck through because in our house, like, we don't drop out. We don't do that. We get our degree, we finish what we start. And I always felt like I just had to, like, prove to my parents that I'm serious. That's how I saw school, was just like, it has to pass to tell my parents that I'm not a joke.
I don't think you're a joke.
And even the university that I wanted to go, my dad really wanted me to go to another one. And he's like, this one, the name has more prestige. I studied at this one. This one is better for you. And I remember I was just like, you know what? I think I'm just going to do this one time for him and then we're done, So everything with schooling was really for them. Actually, my parents never expected me to pursue music purely. They wanted me to like pursue that on the side. And I was just like, I can't see myself doing anything else. So I pursued that. So while I was pursuing music that was already against what they would have wanted for me and they didn't think it was a good idea, all the more I had to prove myself, like, look, I'm finishing with honors. Look, I'm doing really well. And that's always been the dynamic. And when I started teaching, the first time maybe it was a little bit ironic was COVID happened. And so, my dad in real estate, he wasn't working anymore. My mom had a coffee shop. It was in renovation. It had to be closed. My older sister is a lawyer. She couldn't, everything was closed, right? And I was at home and I started having students worldwide contact me and we had lessons on Zoom. And the first year, I think I had like, probably more than 100 over the few months of like lockdown with COVID. So, the person who like was unlikely to have a proper job, so to say, because you're the musician, we get a lot of like stigma and we get a lot of jokes made about us. But I was the only one who was working at home. Everyone, I don't know what they were doing, but it was just like, I was just at the living room, at the piano, giving lessons on Zoom back to back. And no one had access to the living room anymore because it was my workspace at the piano.
So in this situation, how did you feel?
I think I just found it kind of funny. And I've always had that feeling, maybe because I'm the middle child, but almost like I have to prove myself to have a say. But also like I really do it for my own pleasure too. Like I'm not motivated to prove other people, but it feels pretty good. I just feel like I have a lot of those moments where I trusted maybe my own gut, or, you just figure out like one thing also is just like, I think whenever you set out to be excellent in whatever you do, you find your way, you do find your way. Maybe it could have been something else than music, but we're here today and things work this way and try to do the best that I can with what I have in front of me.
You seem like to be really motivated to do like those things. Is there like something that pushes you to do that?
Like just working hard at what's in front of you?
Yeah, and to be excellent, like, as you just said.
I don't even know.
No? You don't know?
I feel like it's kind of intrinsic.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like it's just the way I'm like wired. I like when things are moving. I like when there's a goal. I like when, I can be motivated and show up and see results.
It's in you.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't cracked that yet. Yeah, I think it's almost in you. And sometimes I look at people who like don't feel motivated to go, or they just like talk about a dream, but Annie, that's my dream also. But years go by and they never go for it. I almost can't relate to that. But I can't relate to not even
you're raising a good point. Like, it's like some people, like I know that I have some friends and probably you do too. But like some people, like they have dreams and they have goals, but they don't seem to be able to put into actions those words.
Yeah. I think like some people don't even like come close to like scratching the surface. Like, what if I even fail? Like, you don't even get to the point where there's a possibility of failing. You're just on the outside and looking at like, and a lot of people say that to me. And usually when I'll get a DM or something and people say like, you know, you're really lucky to be doing what you're passionate about. And usually I would just say, thank you so much for being here and all that. But deep down, I was like, first of all, lucky,
Yeah.
you know, as if it didn't take like really like,
Sacrifice. Yeah.
yeah, unrelenting like discipline and trying again and trying again and trying again. And when something works, to keep going and go with the momentum. And also it takes a lot of work behind the scenes. You know, I lose to gain it back with more fulfillment in my opinion. But like your weekends, your time off, you know, it's a choice to like put it where you want to see something grow from. So yeah, and also I think like people always think that maybe because it's the arts, you know, it's music, so it must be passion, you know. But showing up for today like 5 hours straight teaching beginner singers to sing, you know, it's, even if it's passion of teaching, it's not necessarily because you're a singer that you would be passionate about teaching another singer. Yeah. You know, it's still work. It's work with a lot of fulfillment, and we're building to something. You know, when I see the community that we've built, like you and I here sitting in LA, this is our day one in LA, I think about it and I was like, this program didn't exist. This community didn't exist. This trip didn't exist. And we created it.
Yeah, that's true.
And so you bet that I'm going to be preparing for the next one next month. You know, from here on, there's no more stopping.
Yeah, so next month, where are we going?
Next month, possibly New York.
New York.
Possibly Toronto City. That is closer to us.
Yeah.
And yeah, those two are on my list.
So tell me, like, how many students do you have right now? And like, where is it, like, where are they majorly?
Right now, currently, I found a good rhythm with about more 30 or a little bit more monthly.
Okay.
So these are students who take lessons every single week. So those are the times, at least that 30 hours, like just coaching. Outside of that, I also create content. And most of them are actually here in the States.
Awesome.
Yeah, most of them are in the States. Some in Australia, some in Canada. So sometimes I have some in different countries in Europe. I had someone in Belgium or in France, in Spain. But mostly it's very concentrated in the States, actually. So it may be calling my name. I need a sign.
Are you thinking like of moving somewhere?
I think about it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have an idea? Where?
Texas.
Texas. Why?
But everybody's telling me to come to LA. They're like, all the creatives are here, you know, musical people are here. But running a business almost is not just, obviously it's not purely creative anymore. Although I feel very creative when I'm creating a program. And, but yeah, it feels a little bit different. I think LA is definitely really great for people who are in the arts field. But yeah, I haven't
Decided
been too sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Toronto seems nice also. What do you think?
Toronto, yeah, it's awesome. But the traffic, same as in LA here, it's crazy. Traffic, I don't like traffic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I prefer to live like far from the city instead of
Really?
like, to be in the city. Yeah.
I like the city.
I also coming in LA and to meet like your students and like building this course and this community. What is your goal behind that?
The main event that we're coming here for would be the vocal masterclass that's happening tomorrow. And it's a masterclass that we started having in Montreal in the studio with Montreal students. That in itself was like a new thing because we kind of became, it kind of like legitimized the community's presence and the coaching sessions to be now like accessible to more people to join. And I don't even know where the thought really came from, but here we are. Like, I don't even remember the day we were like, we're going to come to LA, but it just seemed normal because I had almost like, I have about like 10 students currently in LA. And it just felt normal. The moment that I saw that there was kind of something going on here, just naturally singers were concentrated around these last few months. It was just like, let's go see them since they're here. Secretly, I also just wanted to travel and to see if where I would maybe like connect, more, and would want to possibly relocate. That's kind of like, that's a secret. But yeah, one of the goals for me, the next step would be to bring Annie Wong Vocals, the Vocal Transformation Masterclass, the Vocal Transformation community that is currently international. It's worldwide. I have singers worldwide. But to really show, to really like bring forth its presence on social media for everybody to see that we are a global community. It is a movement that happens worldwide, and singers worldwide, you don't have to, feel like you have to only visit me in Montreal or come to Canada, but there's a way to connect with singers all over the world. And I think that one day this has the potential to really be something really big, like huge vocal coaching events in person in a time where everybody just wants to be remote and have like less in-person experiences. I am a private session, like a private teacher at the core.
Yeah.
And to be able to like have that, proximity with so many students at the same time, that is very much like a dream. So yeah, we're going to see tomorrow. It's going to be our first vocal masterclass outside of Montreal.
Awesome.
LA edition.
I'm excited.
Me too.